Hey Logan, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your mechanics and your delivery, and just kind of talk a little bit about, ways to get yourself nice and consistent and to really get a maximization of your body. To, really use those legs. The hips, basically the waist down is where that velocity is generated. It's where everything's going on. It's like the engine of your mechanics. So we got to make sure that we're using that, we're maximizing that, and then our initial setup, especially for you, we got to make sure that we're getting in the right place. We're starting in the right position. If we're not starting in the right position, it's going to be hard to finish in the right position. All right. So basically, the biggest thing for you, we're talking about initial setup wise, is we're going to go back here to start. All right. Is we got to make sure that we pivot around this left foot, and then we start our wind up with our right foot. All right, and we're going to do either a small step to the side or a small step forward or a little bit back, just something that's kind of small so we're not moving our head and our posture. All right, you see here that you move your left foot back behind the rubber. All right, so you see here as we step forward here, you see you move that right foot first. All right, and you're actually behind the rubber. We want to make sure that we're moving our left foot. All right, so we move our left foot first. All right, not the right foot. That right foot is the pivot foot. So all that right foot's going to do is it's just going to turn. All right, so you kind of went right here with it, and then you pivot right here. So make sure that you set up with your foot right there. All right, so now your left foot or your right foot's here, your left foot's there. And then you kind of have a little step back with your left foot, somewhere out here, and then just pivot that foot over itself. Because as you see, you're throwing from behind the rubber. All right, we want to throw from in front of the rubber. All right, we want that foot right on the side of the rubber, throwing from there, not from behind. All right, we lose 4 inches. We're throwing from a plastic mound. We might slip on it, so just make sure that we're up in front of that rubber. And that will, help you out a bunch too. All right, so you're doing a real good job at keeping your eyes on the target. All right, once that leg gets going, you want those eyes on the target. All right, you're doing good there. All right, another thing you're doing good is through your leg kick. All right, we're going to backtrack here a little bit. All right, I'm going to mark your head and your spine, your posture. You can see that you're staying over that back leg real well. All right, you're getting your hips in a good position. You're getting closed off. Your hands are in a nice position, kind of around your chest, your stomach. All right. So now in this position, at the height of your leg kick, we want to see your hips go forward first. We want to see just kind of that foot fall back down, staying behind your hips. All right. We want the hips to lead. Then you want to see that ball pop out of that glove. All right. So this is the timing. This is where everything starts. If we break our hands late, if we start our foot first, if we don't get our hips going, this is a lot of what causes a lot of the problems down the mound, is just that initial start. All right, so you can see you're getting a little bit of movement forward with your hips, your legs coming down, your hands are breaking. All right, so you're doing a good job initially. Now we just need more hips. All right, so now we just need more movement forward with your hips, because you're going to watch this foot kind of kick out, and this foot's getting out in front of your hips. All right, we want to try to make sure that they don't pass this line. So we're just leading more with our hips. All right, that just gets everything going a lot quicker, a lot stronger. All right, so at this point, our foot still hasn't come out, so we're not, externally rotating our hip outwards. We're just staying through our hips. You're right here. Your foot might be here. Then as you get farther, then that foot starts to pop out. And then you get to your foot strike. All right. So basically, all this is doing for you is, the more you can get going, the farther down you're going to land. But at foot strikes, once that front foot first hits the ground, you can see that this front side is still closed off. All right, you can see this foot pointing towards the third base line. We want to try to see it pointing closer to the catcher. So all we're doing is we're just kind of cutting off our hips. We're cutting off our energy stored up in our hips, and we're just not letting everything get out in front. So we've got to make sure that we're landing a little bit more turned towards that catcher, all right? And what will help you do that is just try to gain another foot length of stride length. So just buy that foot a little bit more time to get out closer to here, and that's just going to get you a little bit closer to the plate too. All right, so just let that foot get out there, mark off 5 or 6 shoe lengths from in front of the rubber, and that will kind of give you a general idea of where you should be landing. All right, upper body wise, we look at what our angles look like. All right, you can see you have a really good front side. All right, this is really good right here. All right, that elbow's up, that glove's out front. All right, you're getting at a pretty good spot. Your arm's a little bit late, meaning at foot strike, we'd like to see it a little bit higher up, because it rotates up there, you see, and that's just, the more you can get those hips going down, the easier that's going to be. But it's nothing that's really red flagging. It doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of injury potential there. But now for you, it's just a matter of, once this glove gets out here, locking this in place, rotating those hips. You can see that you already have a pretty good sense of torque. You can see these hips rotating before those shoulders rotating. So you're doing good at getting that torque going. All right, now it's just a matter of getting more extended out over your front foot, because what that's going to do is, if we can get down here, what that's going to do is that's going to take all this power, all this energy back here, this load, and you're going to be able to transfer it forward. All right, but when you're kind of cutting off, you just can't transfer that load and get down over that front foot. So you're going to watch yourself through your release. You can see this leg start to stiffen up, and you're seeing yourself basically releasing the ball, behind that heel. All right. We want to try to get to a point that this front leg's taking more of this load. So at release point, we're basically 90 degrees from the ground, because this weight has been taken from the back side to the front side, and that's just driving that body out over your front foot. All right, but the foundation is there because this leg is straight. All right, you just need to get farther out over that front foot. We want to try to get that head, that chest down over that foot, which will pick you up another 6 to 8 inches of release point. All right, but a lot of times, we'll see kids with the back foot off the ground. We'll see a knee at an angle like this, and, they'll be standing straight up. So you got a good sense of everything. You got a nice straight line there. Now it's just a matter of just a little bit more, instead of this here, now maybe we're seeing, this. Just using more legs, using more back, using more body to finish. And then you'll see, as you finish, you get out here, and then instead of, just sort of, you just kind of see your weight and momentum just kind of stop here. There's nothing really forward. You see how there's no kind of forward movement. So that's all that's showing us, is that you're not using that back leg. We got to be driving, everything straight down this mountain. Use that angle, everything driving out front. So as you finish, this back foot's going to pop up off the ground, and you're going to have, a little bit of direction forward. That head's going to get down here, and that foot's going to kick up, somewhere in the back. So that's just showing us that you can use more legs. So we should be finishing. We shouldn't be running forward, but we should be finishing. At least with this leg swinging around and landing somewhere down here, instead of just kind of falling backwards almost. And you can see that glove kind of loop around behind your back. All right. So just more legs, driving out over that front foot a little bit longer. All right, and then you're going to be, and this is something too, I just want to make sure that you know that this is something that as you get older and get stronger, it's going to come a lot more easier. All right, at your age, you're doing a lot of good things that I don't normally see, so that's a positive. Now it's just a matter of just starting here, trying to get that feel of using more legs, getting out over that front foot, so when that strength comes, it gets a lot easier. All right, so basically, we just need to use more legs. Try to work on taking all that energy, all that momentum, all that velocity, and take it directionally straight towards that catcher. Get out over that front foot, use those legs. So, but the base is there. So, it's good to see, and hopefully, you keep progressing as you get stronger. So, thanks again for making it out to camp. Hopefully, you had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.